Hey, Jaime, thank you so much for joining me today. And I have a couple of these questions for you. It's going to be real quick, and we're probably going to try to go a little rapid fire here. But I'll try to give you as much time as I can to answer. So we're just going to jump right in. Can you tell us the story of what stage you were at in your business when you found and joined GrowthCraft?
Yeah, so I found GrowthCraft after my master's at Tufts University. That's where I started PRONOVA. And it was at the end of my master's where I no longer had the resources, the tools, the advisors, the professors during my master's that helped me build a startup. And I was looking for a community of one founders that I could go to with founder related problems, and then a group of advisors that I could go to depending on what kind of problems I had. A lot of them were very cost prohibitive, especially at the stage that I was. Like we were extremely early stage, pre MVP, just looking for the right guidance on what to prioritize.
So the second part of that question, I think we might want to know a little bit more about, which is what did you learn about GrowthCraft that made you decide that this was the right sign up for you? Like this was the right community for you?
For sure. So when I was considering signing up, I was a solo founder, figuring out how I was going to build my team and figuring out what I needed to prioritize first. This was my third startup attempt, so I'd gone over the early stage process of building a company, incorporating that kind of stuff. I'd done it a couple of times, but I didn't know what came next and what I needed to focus on. When GrowthCraft had their sign up process, where you would answer a lot of questions regarding your company, and they would then connect you with advisors based on what your weaker areas or areas in the company that were most at need, and getting you connected with the advisors that could have the largest impact the quickest. That's what made me want to join GrowthCraft, because those were the exact challenges I was facing.
That's awesome. So since joining GrowthCraft, what's changed in your business? Like, have you had any specific wins or insights or breakthroughs that really stand out that you can associate to being a community member at GrowthCraft?
Oh, good question. Overall, the change in mindset, the change in how I think about how I'm going to tackle my problems. Normally, when something happens and you don't have any expertise, be it HR, be it legal, be it software, because my background is in engineering, not knowing how to even start thinking about how to tackle the problem, being able to go to GrowthCraft, get on the office hours of the advisor related to the challenge I was having, and just being able to speak my mind on what I was considering and get some direction on what would be most logical to do first. Just the way I think about solving problems completely changed once I had access to GrowthCraft. Because before that, it was just guessing in the dark. Like, what do I do first?
Just in case you have a secondary thought about this, but the question is, how has being part of GrowthCraft, the GrowthCraft community, helped you in your business and or your personal or and or you personally? But I think you've already answered that a little bit. If you want to elaborate, that's fine.
Absolutely. That change in mindset impacted both the business side of my life as well as the personal. And I would say by far the biggest source of influence and how I think about what's going on has been the mastermind groups. Being able to meet with three other founders and someone leading that meeting, and every couple of weeks being able to focus on each other, helping figure out what each of us needs, maybe connections that we have in our personal life. I think GrowthCraft has not only helped me operate my business better as well as my personal life, but also being able to help other founders with what I've learned.
Awesome. And then the last question, of course, is how would you characterize the value you get from GrowthCraft to another founder, and why would you suggest they join GrowthCraft today?
I think every commonality in the problems that early stage founders share is lack of time, lack of knowledge, and lack of resources or money, right? Like we all share those three similarities. GrowthCraft to me tackled each one of those in a different way. All the meetings that you can do in person and then the mastermind groups, even though I invested time into those, I got more out of them, helping me be more efficient on how I'm using my time, helping me prioritize my problems and the challenges I was facing. And the great thing about the office hours is you can tackle early problems, but if you need more, you can engage those advisors even more as well. So being able to go to people that had the knowledge that I lacked quickly was one of the reasons why we survived so long. And the last area around capital, again, being able to have a community that is extremely cost effective for a startup from the value that you get from it is again what allowed me to be this successful for this long with the company.
Awesome. Jaime, thank you so much for doing this. Thank you so much for your thoughts and your words. They're hopefully will touch some people with them and make some impact.
Hopefully, it's worth it.